Hey everybody, I am David, and today I want to talk about Deadpool 2. It's been out for a couple of days already, almost a week, so I thought it would be a nice time to talk about a new spoiler situation, because there have been a lot of people talking about where Deadpool 2 fits into continuity with the X-Men movies, and one of my highest viewed videos ever, literally my highest viewed video ever with I think 26,000 views, is how to watch the X-Men movies in chronological order. You can check that out after if you don't know how to watch the X-Men movies in chronological order, because the timeline can be a little wonky for people. So some people who want to see it in that certain order, chronological means like the way the story should be seen in. Doesn't have to be, but if you want to watch it that way, it's a unique experience for a movie fan. Just like how Star Wars, you can watch that in chronological order. You watch the prequels first, then the originals, then the new ones. Or, well, there's the spin-offs now, but you get the point. I've done videos on those too. But with X-Men, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated because they're kind of all over the place. So where does it end with the new timeline and everything? So Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are obviously in this timeline too. Some people like to view it as its own thing, but if you're a nerd like me, you want to try to squeeze it into this timeline even though it doesn't make sense. To be fair, there's a couple of movies that contradict some of the others. Some of the movies try to explain certain situations, but hey, there's only so much you can do when other directors go rogue. So let's get talking about this. Deadpool 2, for me, takes place in present day in the new X-Men timeline, which would be X-Men First Class, then X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, eventually X-Men Dark Phoenix, and then you get into the present day with Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And then the future is Logan, because Days of Future Past's future was the future for the original timeline, while Logan is now the future for this current timeline. That's how I look at it. So now Deadpool 2. It has the cast. This is the spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know what's in Deadpool 2, you should know this. Don't watch this video yet. Go out and watch Deadpool first. Deadpool 2, and then come watch this video. The cast of X-Men Dark Phoenix, the First Class era characters, cameo in this movie, Deadpool 2, where you see them in the background for like a second, and then Xavier, played by James McAvoy, closes the door, and that's it. That's their cameo. And so now a lot of people are saying, how come the X-Men are not aging? Well, okay, first of all, number one, the reason why the X-Men are not aging is because the Deadpool movies are not supposed to be taken that seriously. Deadpool is allowed to break the fourth wall, which means he can reference certain things that the characters shouldn't be aware of, but he is, because that's who that character is. Deadpool lets people know that you're watching a movie, he is aware that you are watching a movie, and he's entertaining us for 2 hours. So when we have the cast of Dark Phoenix, which we know Dark Phoenix is taking place in the 90s, First Class took place in the 60s, Days of Future Past took place in the 70s, and Apocalypse was in the 80s. How come Xavier and crew still look so young? That's one way of looking at it. It's like, look, Deadpool is so meta. Don't worry about who's Xavier, how old they are, whatever. Just be happy we got the X-Men in a Deadpool movie, more than just Colossus. Like that was a fun little cameo. It was supposed to be just a good little joke. Take it as that. And then here's the second part, which kind of annoys me a little bit, thinking about the timeline, but I let it pass because I kind of see what they're going for. X-Men First Class took place in the 60s, and Dark Phoenix is taking place in the 90s. Each movie leading up to Dark Phoenix was in the next 10 years or so. Xavier should have been around his 30s in the 60s. Well, if he's in the 90s, he should be a 60-year-old man because it's been 40 years later. So why hasn't he aged much? I'm not sure. 60s or 70s, I have no idea. But yes, he should be like around there in his 60s or 70s. And he is not, unfortunately. He's looking pretty good for a 60, 70-year-old man. And this is what we're going to have to just accept. It's like they're trying to get these new class characters up to present day, which is why I thought after Apocalypse, they should have just transferred over those characters to present day anyways, instead of doing the 90s now, which I don't think they needed to do. But they want to anyways. Maybe they want to until these guys decide to retire. So maybe we'll see the early 2000s in X-Men 5. Or maybe Dark Phoenix will be the last one for all of them. It's almost been 10 years since First Class came out. That movie came out in 2011. So it hasn't been 10 years exactly yet. And maybe they just want to use them for the 10 years. I don't know. I'm still looking forward to Dark Phoenix. Hopefully they make a joke in that movie about why Xavier doesn't look like he's 60 or 70 yet. It's just something we're going to have to accept, I think, at that point. And as for Deadpool making reference to them, again, Deadpool is meta. It was making a joke. It wasn't supposed to be taken that seriously. But if you do put it in the timeline, it's just like, just go with it. That's just what Deadpool is. That's how he rolls. So with that being said, guys, leave down your comments below. Tell me your thoughts on the X-Men, the Dark Phoenix cast being in Deadpool 2. I know everybody liked that scene. Everybody in the theater was laughing. So everybody clearly liked that joke. But if you're going to be a nerd like myself and complain about it, which is not like myself, you're going to lose, because it's like, just let it go. Have fun with it. These are like cartoon characters anyways. And just like in cartoon shows like The Simpsons, they never age. They always stay the same age. That's how I guess we're going to have to look at it. So with that being said, I hope this video helps you guys with the Deadpool 2 problem of the X-Men never aging. And until next time, take care.